Guys, we had an incredible week here at the One Network. Just did a big event. 100+ people came out. Larry Antaporta, sales sensei. I just did a big vlog, kind of running around with him, asking questions. 2 live podcasts, serial entrepreneurs, Jacob Zaks, and Dylan Ander, who's been very popular with a company called Heat Map on Twitter lately, is coming out. So check those out. We'll have some clips of those in the video. More vlogs coming soon. NYC, check it out. We've done a shitload of outreach through alias accounts on my Instagram and many other places, and literally through writing and crafting a good message. Yeah. This is a keystone task. You do this, we got a client, we got a podcast out of it. That resulted in more clients. But the keystone habit is what? Getting through the fear, reaching out on IG or Twitter, getting through all the bullshit to find the prospect and reach out and book the meeting. You got to do the meeting. You have to do that to grow your business. That's one of the key things is outbound selling. The more leads you have in funnel, every lead gen guy understands this, the more likely your business is to have success. But to do that, you have to get out of the comfort zone. And you have to do the outreach every day. And it's magic kind of how it happens because you put in so many works, so many years where you're not really like flashy or flying cars or doing any crazy stuff. You're basically just grinding 24/7. It's not a glamorized life, but you live that for many years, and then boom, overnight, that's what it felt like. How like major. Then you're bringing big 6-figure plus months, and now I had all this freedom and ability and capital and ways to spend it, really live life on different levels than other human beings. But that doesn't happen until you spend many years grinding and focusing and really locked in your vision and then your mission. So I'm very cognizant of the entrepreneurs that we're teaching on the Discord or in the Slack VIP group. Very cognizant of imparting upon them that message and just knowing that, like, yeah, you can be motivated by the cars, the girls, and the boats and all the crazy stuff, but you got to understand that is not going to happen next week. You're not buying the rolling next week. If you're smart, you're going to wait until you really made it. And there's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts to get to the point where you actually make it. It's not just like you sign a couple $1,000 clients and you're there. You can't do a Tuesday, Wednesday, though club situation you would do or usually, during the day. It's like the day parties and day actions are much more of a thing. But again, there wasn't so great from a work standpoint. So that's one thing. Have so much shit going on.
Yeah, I feel like you always got a million different things.
Yeah. I've had a couple times, dude, I had a couple times the past 5 days where there were about 15 people on the call asking for different things in 20 different organization systems. And it was about to explode, but I turned it around. I almost flipped out. I was like, the fuck? Fuck, you're over here. But yeah, I think, one of the questions you were just asking, coming out of the event is can we do this, but 5-10 times the size? Or do we need a grant card down as, we need a figure of importance is the question.
An event?
For an event, yeah.
That's an interesting question. What do you put up a random two-step post on Facebook on Monday? The post is over, I think, almost 50 comments at this point.
Yeah.
So I started getting some conversations with DMs, and now
how do you write a post like that? What's your process?
Dude, super simple. So whenever I'm writing, let's say they call it the text posts on Facebook.
Right.
Facebook is unique to that shit. That's what's really interesting about Facebook.
Right.
Is it's kind of like that. It's just a color and then it's just a headline.
Yeah.
Post, right. And for some reason that shit still rips. It's been ripping
still works.
20 years.
Dude, you got to use Gamma. It's an AI pitch. It makes decks websites, documents, landing pages.
I think I've seen
all through AI. But it's just more so than being AI. It's super quick. So it's literally a thing that I like is you have a business idea, you have some sort of sales pitch idea. You can quickly with
Get it
something
right
up.
on there with a guy.
Boom, then you do that loom. Now it's on social media. Now it's in your cold email
I
campaigns.
might have to look into that. I think I've heard about that. But yeah, dude, it's like I've played through this game enough where I made the mistake in the past where it's like I craft up and spend hours trying to craft up this offer and then realize no one wants to freaking buy it.
Right.
And then you're
5
like,
hours
I just
down the
spent
drain.
like
Yeah.
5 hours, 10 hours. Like I made the mistake. They always say kind of like ship your MVP in like the startup, right?
Let's say, for example, I'm going to use a really simple, stupid, oversimplified example just to make the point. Okay. So let's say you find out from 5 companies that they have specific, I don't know, focal tone colors in their logo.
Yeah.
And these other companies either tried to change them, or they ignored them, or they missed them by the mark. Okay.
Yeah.
Or missed them by a mile. Missed the mark by a mile. So you could make prominently in your copy. We've heard that a lot of companies are ignorant or disrespectful of the exact focal tone colors in your logo, and it really delays the project and has even caused cost overruns in some cases. We will never do that. One of the first things we do is, so if you can show some of the most widespread complaints that they have against your competitors and acknowledge those complaints, say, we do the opposite, so you don't have to worry about that. That's one way. And then, of course, the answer to the first question, what do you like about us? Just point out, some of the things our customers like about us are, and then list them.
I'm in the zone, got my mind made up, spitting rhymes like a fire that won't go out. I'm on a mission, got a vision to share, bringing the heat, making the air electric. I'm not afraid to go against the grain. I'm here to show the world my kind of pain. From the streets to the booth, I'm the trucks.
My biggest challenge. It's always a challenge when you work with a client or with a startup who already in trouble, technically, right? Who hired one team of developers, it failed, another one, and then project and code become a frontish thing, like many different parties wrote a different pieces of it, and the owner or founder ended up in a situation where they put a lot of funds into it. They want to make a product, but it basically become unusable. And this is the biggest challenge, how to find a way to make it work, to make it through the finish line, at least to MVP and prove to investor and everyone that the concept is working. Because if I come over to the client and say like, oh, this is garbage, we need to rewrite everything, he feels that like 3 or 4 times.
Actually had showers. If you go back there, there's about 10 showers. So it's called purpose spot. If you want to, Kale's got business cards. There's Kale right there in the back. You want to be here and sign up for Blend. But I think it's very affordable, obviously, has great events like this. But also like the shower factor. And I think for the ladies, there's a makeup station. I don't even know. It's so crazy. I don't even know how to explain it to you. Okay, so it's actually you. So get out. Kale's back there, Belong NYC. I had a company called The One Network. I'm a serial entrepreneur. Have never had a job. I actually have my first startup founder with me, who I started my company with 10 years ago. But I'm big into helping people start businesses, become self-employed, and run their own companies. We're also streaming here. That's why you see the camera. Got about 1,000 people running companies around the world. I'm talking like 15-year-olds, okay, in Nigeria, and they're starting companies and they're building it. And so I'm just, before we even started, I was saying, if you have the will to do it, you don't even need that many skills. I myself have built multi-million-dollar companies, sold them, I thought it sucked before I started. So any of you can do that. That's what we do. The one network, we'll talk about it a little bit at the end. But we've got a great panel here. I've got 4 different people. 2 of them are going to do a presentation for you. Then we're going to do a Q&A panel. And I want you guys who have companies or you have aspirations to start companies to tell us about the company that you're doing. And we can actually, the greater community here can help you, shout you out and help you get some progress on that. But I've got Alexa Curtis here. She came on my podcast.
Not today.
I'm sure she sold her podcast to Disney. Serial entrepreneur, just like class A, crazy come up story. Maybe she'll talk about that a little bit. Then I got Larry and Porter here, the Filipino Jesus. So he's walking up. He's called the Sales Sensei, big on Twitter. Has got a great 600-person community in school, and knows sales in and out, which is relevant to really any startup, whether you're B2C, B2B, whatever. I closed millions of dollars in sales just on my own for my own company, and I've listened to the advice that he gives, and I'm telling you that it's straight on. This guy knows what he's talking about, and he explains it in a really great way. I've got Boone with me as well. Startup advisor, provides maybe more of that financial kind of mindset, investing in companies, that type of thing. And then we have Ward as well, veteran of the sales game, runs an agency that's focused on CRO, kind of chief revenue officer, obviously development, and setting up companies for success in the long run. I think he's going to provide a more balanced perspective to Larry's kind of, just open to sales, but also has a very interesting perspective. So without further ado, I'm going to let Big Larry, take the floor.
Let's go.
And tell us where you're presenting, Larry.
Cool.
And also intro yourself and give a little background.
My name is Larry Porta, first generation immigrant. My government name is actually Lawrence Castro Antiporta, in case you're curious about that. The reason I'm here today is Chris and I actually randomly had a conversation at WeWork 3 weeks ago, I believe. We're like, hey, I see a lot of events in Miami. I see a lot of events in California. Why don't we put New York on the map more with startups, entrepreneurs, and founders? So it started off as a half a joke, and then now it is reality. So we want to thank you guys. Are so grateful for everyone showing up.
I was living in a community of 17 people in Brooklyn. It's like a space called the Lightning Society. And the reason I moved there is because I was living in Philly. I wanted to start a business at that time in community. And my sister, who lives in the Bay Area, said, don't be the person to start the business in community, but I'd never lived in one. So I like very sage advice. So I felt like I was in life R&D and I was a media experience. But what came out of it for me was like very hard to, and this might resonate with you, really hard to scale communities. But how do you do that?
Liverpool, which was told me 2 days ago, started my client, that he was having a pretty hard time. I was like, if you don't sacrifice for your goals and dreams, your goals and dreams become the same. So what you stuff, man? Holy joke, like, it was just a reminder. I was like, wow. That is a keeping moment right there because I was just stealing my client that same thing. So appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. That, I think I did that. He's some advice to myself. Let's let them suffer a little bit, So thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I do. Hi, my name is Brianna. I'm about to graduate from NYU, and I'm also currently working in the payments industry. So really great that credit cards came up. And something that I noticed that in payments, like everybody pays. Everybody is a customer in a way. So, and I'm noticing that there's also a common trend here about sales and about reaching that customer. So how do the four of you differentiate between customer acquisition and retaining that customer in a way that's meaningful and sometimes a little bit forceful, like, socially acceptable harassment? And where do you differentiate that from spam and from unwanted communication? So in order to reach a customer that, I guess, it's something that I've noticed in my industry is ubiquitous. Everybody is targetable. When everyone is targetable, how do you make a meaningful relationship with a customer? And how do you make these decisions between what's invasive and what's not?
I guess I'm
Yeah, I mean, I would say like for me, I really realized coming from more of like the personal brand side. I mean, I also sell this other summit program to predominantly universities. I've gotten really good at these probing questions and I kind of switched them out a lot. So essentially, there's like a sales funnel for anything, right? Even if I'm selling myself as a product or selling this other thing or you're selling this bag, right? What is the pain point of the person that they would want to purchase this product? And I think coming at it from this the way that I kind of go about it, even like trying to get someone to subscribe to my newsletter, right? I look at that as a customer, right? And then there's, of course, when they're added to this list, how do I get you now to buy whatever product I'm selling? Is like trying to understand what are they dealing with? So something like, I see you're interested in this topic, right? Perhaps would you be interested in, or did you ever see this? And like, how did this make you feel? That kind of thing. And then trying to figure out from there, instead of like selling it to them, kind of making them feel like they're a part of something when they're buying into any product, getting on a newsletter list, anything like that, if that makes sense. It's like really trying to make them feel like they're not just buying this, they're participating in something that'll make them almost be a better person based on what it is that they're currently struggling with. I don't know if that helps, but
Yeah, so no, East Village.
Yeah, what's
Basically, dude, the story. So there was one period. This is a really great entrepreneurial story, but one period where I had sold my business that I did in college, moved to the city, and the business that I was doing after that wasn't due. We were in debt in the business. This is the professional cuddling business, so I could not pay myself. So I was like literally just trying. Like the last thing I want to do is move in with my parents.
Yeah, exactly.
So I started Airbnb-ing.
Your place.
Yeah, no, I started renting Airbnb, so I didn't have to sign a lease.
Oh, so you're just moving back, like place to place. Okay.
Moving place to
That's
place.
the
So
house
I was living.
right there.
I closed the deal, and I'd have an Airbnb for 5 days. The cheapest place happened to be the East Village. It was like $200 a night or some shit.
Dang.
So I was
That's some
staying in
real
a
hustler
walk-up.
shit.
Yeah. And I would literally. There were some nights. I'm not even joking to make this story up, like Luke Alexander, but. There were some nights where I was like, I didn't have the money for the next night.
Holy shit.
And I closed an Upwork deal or some type of fucking deal.
Just to get
cold
cash.
email to get cash. This was 8 years ago. And I'm not saying this like, I know, like, I'm not saying this to, that's literally just what it was. And I obviously could go live with my parents, you know what I'm saying? But I was trying to motivate myself and get myself over that edge.
I think every great entrepreneur has that rocky moment, that rock bottom rocky moment.
Yeah.
So when I was living in San Diego and I started my agency, similar story. So not in that drastic, but I remember what I would have to do is, one, I was living off credit cards with my business partner, and I was supporting him and myself with a credit card that we were like literally maxing out every month. So we like didn't have cash.
That's crazy.
Right? And there's to the point where I literally could not go to Chipotle and my card would get declined because I just didn't have the cash. And so I was the guy closing deals, and I literally was like, would wake up with so much anxiety at like 6:30 a.m. It's like, I literally have to close a deal today or I'm not gonna eat in the next couple of days. So same thing, it's like, that's what got me good at sales and closing deals. It's literally like, I had no choice.
I think you have to, if you suck at sales and you're a loser and you're terrible, you have to put yourself in this situation.
Right, because that's the ultimate hunting mentality. Like literally, you have to kill
evolution.
and actually eat.
So it will actually motivate you.
Yeah.
Straight up. I think it's like that's the best fucking way to do it.
Because think about it, when you're gonna let me think about it, you're like, screw the let me think about it. I need to freaking put food on the table. I'll sit here for an hour and just work objections, bro.
Well, I think it's just like more so than any performance enhancing drug or whatever that you can take. Like, you want to make yourself fucking work, put yourself in a position where you're gonna fucking starve.
Yeah, you literally starve.
And you will figure out how to sell people, because there's so many people that I meet are really pussy about asking for money and asking to get paid. And there's no other. That's the way that you build that skill.
That's how you do it, man.
Now, I was a little more advantageous with the Airbnbs. I would look for chicks that were a little bit older, and I would bang the chicks in the Airbnb.
So
who are renting it. My users or whatever, the fucking people.
That's the secret hack.
Yeah. So yeah.
The one hack you didn't know how to stay alive as a 20-year-old.
And I would work out of the Airbnbs too. So I'd have it's actually This is so crazy, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you. I brought in monitors.
To the Airbnb?
Yeah, like, fucking, I had a guitar. I had, like, fucking, I brought, like, if you have your furniture, look at this right here. If you have furniture, I had a couch, okay? So I had about here to here in terms of furniture. And it would take me 2 hours to move from the Airbnbs. I had one on 3rd Street over here and one on Avenue A. Okay?
Sheesh.
And so I had to walk between the apartments, and it took me an hour and a half, and I would pay, I'd get an Uber, call an Uber,
Yeah.
and then I'd pay the Uber in cash to help me bring the shit
Like all your shit to the next
between the
Airbnb.
Airbnb. And this is every 4 days. And some of them were like very steep. Like I stayed right up there. Look at that right up there. This is for a walk up.
Dude,
Okay?
that's a
You
crazy
have to walk up 4 stairs with guitar, fucking computer. And keep in mind, no one else knew that I was in a dire financial situation.
It was just you and yourself in the mirror, bro.
Like everybody was like, oh yeah, whatever, he's got the other companies doing fine. No one even knew that I was living here and not at my apartment from before.
Hey, yo, so what I'm really getting from this is, as Eric Thomas once said, you gotta want success as bad as you want to breathe,
Yeah.
then you'll be successful.
Right.
And also, you were the first digital nomad, but not in the way that digital nomads.
Right.
Storm.